Airlines profit from your silence. Your seat is not just a place to sit. It is a calculated piece of a billion-dollar game designed to extract every penny from your pocket. A simple leg cramp in row 42 is not just a nuisance. It is a potential medical emergency called a silent killer. That power bank sitting in your checked bag? It is a chemical time bomb that could land you a federal fine, or worse. Corporate systems are rigged to hide the fact that you might be eligible for $1,500 in cold, hard cash. Stop being the victim. They will never volunteer this information. Here are the 12 rules to save your life, your sanity, and your money. Rule 1 of 12. Airlines collect over $12 billion every year just from seat selection fees. They are banking on your anxiety. Levi, a 42-year-old architect, sat in a terminal at Dallas-Fort Worth, DFW, at 11:30 p.m., staring at his smartphone in total frustration. The airline wanted $60 just for an aisle seat on a 3-hour flight. That is the price of a high-end steak dinner in Texas. The seating map was a sea of blue premium icons. This is the seat map trap. Airlines often block out a large portion of standard seats to make the cabin look full, forcing you to panic buy an upgrade. Stop paying the ransom. There is a hidden window where the algorithm gives up. Most airline systems are programmed to release premium, unpaid seats exactly 24 hours before the flight. This happens the moment check-in opens. The computer needs to ensure the aircraft is balanced correctly for takeoff, so it starts filling empty spots regardless of their premium status. Levi waited until the clock hit the 24-hour mark and refreshed his app. The $60 aisle seat was suddenly free. The algorithm surrendered. Success at DFW was sweet, but remember that gate agents have the final word. While this trick works frequently, always be polite if you need to ask for a change at the counter. Levi got his seat without spending a dime. Saving $60 is a huge win, but it means nothing if you are not prepared for the physical toll of the flight. Safety is more than just a seatbelt. You need to know Rule 2, the DVT Protection Protocol. Rule 2 of 12. Check your ankles before the plane starts its descent into Munich, MUC. You might think those swollen feet are just a side effect of salty pretzels and tiny seats. You are wrong. Grayson, a 31-year-old lab technician, found out the hard way while flying across the Atlantic. By the time he reached the baggage claim at Munich, MUC, his right calf was throbbing and red. He brushed it off as a cramp from the 10-hour haul. This was a life-threatening mistake. This was deep vein thrombosis, a silent killer triggered by cabin pressure, low oxygen, and immobility. The airline will not tell you this, but pressurized air and low humidity make your blood as sluggish as molasses. Grayson ended up in a German clinic instead of his vacation. The fix is simpler than a 5-figure medical bill. Every hour, perform ankle pumps by flexing your feet up and down 20 times. This act engages your calf muscles, which function as a secondary heart to pump blood back up your legs. Wear compression socks rated at 15 to 20 millimeters of mercury to keep the circulation moving. They would rather you just stay in your seat to keep the aisles clear, but your health comes first. Drink 8 ounces of water every hour to prevent your blood from thickening in the dry 10% humidity. Grayson now never flies without his flight kit: water, socks, and movement. Reality check. Compression socks are a tool, not a magic shield. If you have a history of heart issues, talk to a doctor first. He made his next flight back to Boston without a single ache. You are now safe in your seat. But getting your food is a different battle. Even a healthy heart won't help when the hunger hits. Rule 3 of 12. Henry, a 26-year-old chef, sat in his cramped seat on a long-haul flight leaving Helsinki, HEL. He listened to his stomach growl as the food trolley slowly crept down the aisle. He was in row 42, and the flight attendants were still at row 5. He knew it would be another 45 minutes before a lukewarm tray reached him. This is the hunger cue. The airline will not tell you this, but you do not actually have to wait. Most carriers offer a wide variety of special dietary meals if you request them at least 24 hours before departure. Whether it is vegan, kosher, or low sodium, these trays are prepared separately. Because they are special orders, flight attendants bring them out before the main service begins. Henry realized that by simply ticking a box on the website, he could be finishing his dessert while his seatmate was still staring at an empty tray. Not only do you eat early, but the quality is often noticeably better, because these meals are not mass-produced in the same giant vats as the standard options. Do not expect a Michelin star experience every time. Some special meals can be hit or miss depending on the airport caterer. However, getting fed first is a massive win when you are trapped in a metal tube for 10 hours. Henry enjoyed his meal and settled in for a nap while the rest of the cabin was still fumbling with plastic wrappers. You just mastered the menu. Now, let's master the terminal. Navigating the maze is where the real nightmare begins. Rule 4 of 12. Did you ever realize that the distance between security and your gate can be a hidden barrier? James, a 45-year-old lawyer, landed at Oslo, OSL, for a tight connection. He was not wearing a cast, but a recent back injury made every step feel like walking on broken glass. The monitor showed his flight boarding at gate B99, nearly 3,000 feet away. James stood there, feeling invisible in the rushing crowd. He thought assistance was only for the elderly or those in wheelchairs. He was wrong. The airline won't volunteer this, but assistance is for anyone with a disability, including non-visible ones. You typically do not need a doctor's note or a physical handicap to request a wheelchair or an electric cart. James finally approached a service desk and explained his back injury. Within 10 minutes, an electric cart arrived to whisk him through the terminal. If the walk feels like a marathon, just ask. It is not about being lazy. It is about accessibility and safety. Understand that while staff will not demand a medical ID, these services stay incredibly busy. Use them only when truly needed, so you do not take resources from others. James made his flight without agonizing pain. He saved his energy for his destination. But saving your privacy is a different game. You just avoided a physical breakdown. But that is nothing compared to the digital eye watching you. Rule 5 of 12. Over 90% of major U.S. airports plan to replace your physical passport with a facial scan by the end of 2026. This is not science fiction. Mason, a 28-year-old photographer, stood at the security checkpoint in Las Vegas, LAS. The blue light on the biometric scanner flickered. The camera zoomed. Mason hesitated, wondering where his facial data was being stored. The TSA agent just pointed at the lens, expecting him to comply. Most travelers blink and move on. They are banking on your ignorance. Right now, these biometric programs are often optional. If you value your privacy, you have the right to say no. The fix is simple. Approach the TSA officer and say, "I would like to opt out of facial recognition." They are trained to perform a manual ID check instead. It takes an extra 30 seconds, but keeps your biometrics out of the cloud. Privacy is a choice you have to make actively. Airlines like Delta and United are moving fast on this, so keep your physical passport in your pocket, just in case the system glitches. TSA claims the tech is 97% accurate, but that 3% error rate can lead to a secondary screening nightmare. Trust is a risk. You just saved your privacy, but that is nothing compared to the stress of Rule 6, the gate check loophole. Rule 6 of 12. Do not fight for space in the overhead bin. Isaac, a 39-year-old accountant from Austin, AUS, found himself in a boarding nightmare at 6:45 a.m. He was stuck in boarding group 5, clutching a carry-on that was just slightly over the 22-inch limit. The tension in the terminal was thick. As the gate agent announced, the flight was completely full. Isaac watched other passengers nervously trying to shove their bags into the luggage sizer, fearing a $75 fee. Stop the stress. Isaac walked to the counter before the boarding madness began. He knew the airline was desperate to clear bin space. He offered a solution. "The flight looks packed. Do you need any volunteers to gate-check bags for free?" The agent, relieved to save time during the boarding process, tagged his bag immediately. Isaac did not have to lift a 40-pound suitcase into a high bin or pay a single dime. Free is always better. Keep in mind that your bag goes to the cargo hold, so you must remove your lithium batteries and medications. Isaac made it to his seat with zero stress. He avoided an expensive mistake. But saving on a bag won't help when the airline owes you $600. Everything changes when you understand Rule 7. Rule 7 of 12. Samuel, a 52-year-old financial advisor, slumped into a hard chair at San Diego. He stared at the red, delayed sign on the departure board. His flight was pushed back 6 hours due to a mechanical issue. An agent handed him a small slip of paper. "A $200 voucher," she said. "Valid for 1 year. Stop. That paper is a trap designed to save the airline thousands of dollars. Vouchers come with strings, like blackout dates or expiration windows. As of late 2024, the Department of Transportation changed the game. If your flight is significantly delayed, over 3 hours for domestic or 6 hours for international, the airline owes you a refund if you choose not to travel. But even if you do travel, you do not have to accept monopoly money. If they bump you involuntarily, the law requires them to offer cash or a check. Tell the agent you want the compensation in a form you can actually spend. Samuel stood his ground and got his refund instead of a useless coupon. While the law protects you, agents still have some discretion on how they handle service. Politeness, paired with a firm knowledge of DOT rules, works most of the time. Samuel kept his cash, but that money won't help you if you are overpaying for your next ticket. Rule 8 is about the hidden filter. Rule 8 of 12. Do you trust travel sites like Expedia or Kayak to find the absolute lowest price? Mia, a 67-year-old retired nurse from Boston, sat in the terminal at Lisbon, LIS, feeling defeated. She needed a last-minute ticket home, and the aggregators were quoting her nearly $800. The airline will not tell you this, but third-party sites often cannot see specific senior discounts hidden on an airline's direct website. They show the market rate, not the age-based rate. The fix is simple. Use the aggregators for your initial research to see who flies the route, then go straight to the carrier's official site. Many airlines offer a 10% senior discount that only appears when you select your age category during the final checkout steps. The system is rigged to hide these savings from the general public. Mia tried this and saved $80 in 5 minutes. It is your money. Do not let them keep it. Not every airline offers this, and age requirements vary between 55 and 65. Always check the Special Offers tab on the airline's homepage. Mia saved her money, but saving 10% won't help if you are physically kicked off the plane. That brings us to Rule 9. Rule 9 of 12. Over 30,000 passengers are bumped from flights every single year. Oliver, a 24-year-old student from Boston, BOS, was standing at gate B-17 waiting for his flight to Chicago. Suddenly, the announcement crackled. "We are overbooked. We are looking for volunteers. $400 in travel vouchers if you take the next flight." Oliver's hand almost went up. He was thinking about a cheap spring break. Stop. Do not move yet. The airline is banking on your eagerness. They start the bidding low because they want to save money. If nobody bites at $400, that offer often jumps to $800, then $1,200. In cases of involuntary bumping, DOT guidelines suggest you could be eligible for up to 400% of your one-way fare, capped at $1,550. Oliver waited. 10 minutes later, the agent sounded desperate. The offer hit $1,000 in actual cash. Oliver walked up, took the check, and smiled. This is a game of chicken. If enough people jump at the low offer, the price will never rise. But being patient often pays off in hundreds of dollars. Oliver won this round, but money won't matter if your plane is grounded due to a safety violation. That is why Rule 10 is a matter of life and death. Rule 10 of 12. Open your checked suitcase and take that power bank out right now. You might think it is just a backup battery, but at 30,000 feet, it is a ticking chemical time bomb. Noah, a 41-year-old web developer, learned this the hard way at Milan MXP. He threw his 20,000 milliamp-hour charger into his large suitcase, thinking it was safer there than in his pocket. Lithium batteries can short-circuit if they are crushed or overheated. In the pressurized cargo hold, a tiny spark becomes an uncontrollable furnace that standard fire extinguishers cannot reach. Noah was already at the gate when the intercom barked his name. Security had flagged his bag. They did not just take the battery. He missed his flight window while they inspected his gear. He spent 12 hours on a hard plastic chair in Milan MXP because of one small brick of lithium. Always keep your power banks in your carry-on luggage. If a battery starts to smoke in the cabin, the flight crew can use specialized fire containment bags to stop the disaster. Most airlines limit you to batteries under 100 watt-hours. If yours is bigger, you need special permission. Noah eventually made it home, but he lost his peace of mind. You just avoided a disaster. But even a safe plane won't help if you miss your connection. Rule 11 of 12. Logan, a 58-year-old journalist, sat on the cold floor at Brussels, BRU. He watched the departure board flicker red as his flight was canceled. He was going to miss a major assignment. Despair was crushing. Logan felt like just another number in a sea of stranded passengers. Then he remembered the secret of the quiet ask. Gate agents have the power to change your life, but only if you stop yelling. To trigger a compassion override, you have to ditch the anger. Logan waited until the initial rush of angry passengers had cleared. He approached the desk quietly. "I know you are having a rough day," he said, "but I am struggling to get to a work emergency." He did not demand a voucher. He asked for help. Often, agents can put you on a rival carrier or find a seat in Economy Plus that the system was holding for emergencies. This is not a magic spell, but treating an agent like a human being pays off more than any Karen routine. Logan got a seat on a different airline 2 hours later. Kindness won. You just saved your trip. But even a seat won't help if you are stuck in a terminal for 10 hours. That is why Rule 12 is your final essential move. Rule 12 of 12. Have you ever found yourself propped against a trash can at 3 a.m. because every seat in the terminal was taken? William, a 36-year-old manager, was stranded at Barcelona, BCN, after a canceled flight. He was beyond exhausted. His back ached from the cold tile floor. He stared at an $18 soggy sandwich, feeling defeated. The airline wants you to stay in the terminal and spend money on overpriced snacks. Do not be the victim. For about $45, William could have entered an independent lounge. Most travelers think these are only for the elite flying first class. That is a lie. You can buy a day pass regardless of what is printed on your ticket. Inside, William would have found a hot shower, a buffet, and a quiet armchair with a power outlet. It changes your entire mental state from surviving to thriving. Use an app like Lounge Buddy to find these spots. Not every lounge is a 5-star oasis, and some can get crowded during peak hours. However, even a busy lounge beats a cold floor and a trash can. William eventually found one and made his connection feeling like a human being again. Now you are prepared for the chaos of modern travel. If you do not know these rules, the airport will take your money every single time. The airlines hate that you know these secrets. Hit subscribe to keep winning the travel game.